I posted our sonogram with baby's first photo. While my husband was at work, then tagged his brother and wrote, "Can't wait to tell everyone who the real father is." His mother fainted at Sunday dinner when I showed up wearing his brother's jacket. I'm 6 months pregnant and I just destroyed my husband's entire family in under 48 hours. The baby isn't his. It's his brother's. Before anyone jumps down my throat, let me explain how we got here. My husband stopped touching me 2 years ago. Completely. I tried everything. New lingerie, date nights, therapy suggestions. He'd just pat my shoulder and say he was tired. Meanwhile, his brother had been coming around more, helping with stuff around the house while my husband worked late. One thing led to another last fall. I knew I should have ended it. I knew I should have left my husband first. But I got pregnant and suddenly everything felt different. His brother wanted me to leave. He said we could be a real family. My husband had no idea about any of it. Here's where I snapped. Last Sunday I overheard my husband on the phone with his mother. He was laughing. Actually laughing. And he said, "Yeah, I've been seeing Melissa for about a year now. No, she doesn't suspect anything. Once the baby comes I'll probably just leave then." Melissa. His coworker. The one he said was just a friend. I stood in the hallway with my hand on my stomach and something just broke inside me. He'd been cheating the entire time. While I felt guilty about his brother, he'd been screwing around too. And he was planning to leave me with a newborn. So I got petty. Really petty. I grabbed the sonogram photo from the fridge. The one that says baby's first photo. Across the top. I posted it on Facebook Tuesday morning while my husband was at work. Tagged his brother. Wrote in the caption, "Can't wait to tell everyone who the real father is." Blue heart. I didn't use an emoji, I literally wrote the words out with an exclamation point. Within an hour my phone was exploding. My husband called me screaming. His mother called crying. His brother called and just said, "What did you do?" I didn't answer any of them. I packed a bag and went to stay at my sister's place. But I wasn't done. Sunday dinner at his parents' house is mandatory in their family. My husband had been calling and texting nonstop, begging me to take the post down, saying we could talk about this. His mother left me a voicemail saying I was tearing the family apart with lies and attention-seeking. So I showed up to Sunday dinner. Wearing his brother's jacket. The leather one with his initials stitched inside that everyone in the family knows belongs to him. His mother answered the door. She took one look at me, at the jacket, and her face went completely white. She grabbed the door frame and her knees just buckled. She actually fainted. His father had to catch her. My husband came running. His brother was already there, standing in the living room looking like he wanted to disappear into the floor. I walked right past all of them and sat down at the dining table. "I'm not leaving," I said. "We're going to have this conversation right now." His mother came to on the couch. She was crying, saying, "How could you do this to us?" Over and over. Not to her son. To the family. That's when I pulled out my phone and played the voicemail. The one I'd recorded of my husband's call with his mother. His voice crystal clear. "Yeah, I've been seeing Melissa for about a year now." The room went dead silent. His father stood up. Looked at my husband. And said, "Get out of my house." "Dad, let me explain. You've been cheating on your pregnant wife and planning to abandon her? Get out." My husband tried to argue. Tried to say I'd cheated first so it didn't matter. His brother finally spoke up and said, "You stopped sleeping with her 2 years ago and started an affair a year ago. You don't get to play victim." I didn't expect his brother to defend me. I really didn't. His mother was sobbing, asking how this happened, how her family fell apart. His father told my husband he had 1 week to move his stuff out of our house, it's in his parents' name, they helped us buy it, or he'd do it himself. My husband left. Just grabbed his keys and walked out. His brother drove me back to my sister's place. We didn't talk much. He asked if I was okay and I said I didn't know. He said his parents want to meet with both of us next week. They want to figure out how to move forward. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they'll want anything to do with me or the baby after this. But watching my husband's face when his own father kicked him out felt like the first real breath I'd taken in months. My sister says I handled it wrong. That I should have just divorced him quietly and not blown up his whole family. That using the baby as a weapon was cruel. But he was going to leave me anyway. He was planning it. And his family deserved to know what kind of person he really is. So I guess I'm asking, was I wrong for doing it this way? Should I have just kept my mouth shut and let him leave on his own terms? The house is empty now. His parents changed the locks yesterday. I didn't think they'd actually go through with it. When his father said my husband had a week to get his stuff out, I figured it was just anger talking. But no. They hired movers, packed everything he owned into boxes, and had it delivered to some apartment across town. His mother called me 2 days ago and asked if I wanted to come get anything of mine that was still there. I went this morning. She answered the door looking like she hadn't slept. Her eyes were puffy and red. She didn't hug me or anything, just stepped aside and let me in. The house felt wrong. All the photos of my husband were gone from the walls. There were these blank spaces where frames used to be, lighter squares on the paint. His mother saw me staring and said, "I took them down. I can't look at him right now." We sat in the kitchen. She made tea, neither of us drank. "His brother told us everything," she said finally. "About how long your marriage had been difficult. About your husband pulling away. About the affair with that woman from his work." I waited. I didn't know what to say. "I'm not excusing what you did," she continued. Her voice was shaking. "But I raised him better than this. To abandon his wife, his child. To plan it like some sort of business transaction." She looked at me then, really looked at me. "The baby. You're sure it's my other son's?" "Yes." She nodded slowly. Picked up her tea and set it back down without drinking. "He wants to be involved. As a father. Did he tell you that?" He hadn't. We'd barely spoken since Sunday dinner. Just a few texts about practical things, about doctor's appointments and insurance. "We want to support you both," she said. "The baby is our grandchild no matter what happened between you and my sons. But I need to know you're serious about this. That you're not just, I don't know, using the situation." That stung. But I understood why she said it. "I'm keeping the baby," I told her. "And his brother, he's been decent through all this. More decent than I deserve probably." She made a sound that might have been a laugh or a sob. "He's always been the responsible one. Even when he's being irresponsible, he takes responsibility for it." Does that make sense? It did. His father came home while we were talking. He looked tired too. Older somehow. He shook my hand, formal and stiff, and asked how I was feeling. I said fine. He nodded and disappeared into his office. "He's taking it hard," his mother said quietly. "He keeps asking where he went wrong. With your husband, I mean. Wondering if he pushed too hard or not hard enough." I left an hour later with a box of my things. Some books, a few pieces of jewelry, a sweater I'd forgotten in the guest room. His mother walked me to my car and stopped me before I got in. "That woman," she said. "The one he was seeing. She called here yesterday." My stomach dropped. She wanted to know if the rumors were true. If he'd really been cheating on her with his sister-in-law, she laughed, bitter and sharp. "Apparently he told her you two were separated. That the divorce was almost finalized. She had no idea you were still together, still living in the same house." "What did you tell her?" "The truth. That my son is a liar and she should run as fast as she can in the opposite direction." She paused. She hung up on me. I drove back to my sister's place in a daze. The whole thing felt surreal. His family choosing me over him. His affair partner finding out she was the other woman. Everything just kept spiraling. My sister was waiting when I got there. She took one look at my face and made me sit down. "His brother's outside," she said. "He's been here for 20 minutes. Says he needs to talk to you." I found him on the porch. He looked nervous, hands shoved in his pockets. "Hey," he said. "Hey." We stood there for a minute, not talking. Then he said, "I told my parents I want to get a place. For us. If you want that. That's fast. I know. But you can't stay with your sister forever." And I meant what I said before. About wanting to be a family. I looked at him. Really looked at him. He's younger than my husband by 3 years. Has the same eyes but softer somehow. He's never been married, never had kids. This is all new for him too. "I don't know if I can do this," I said honestly. "Jump from one brother to another. Make this work. It feels impossible. It probably is impossible." He smiled a little. "But we're already here. Might as well try." My phone buzzed. A text from my husband: "We need to talk about the house and finances. When can you meet?" I showed his brother the message. He read it and his jaw tightened. "Don't meet him alone," he said. "I'll come with you. That'll just make it worse." "I don't care. He doesn't get to corner you. We're supposed to meet my husband tomorrow at a coffee shop downtown. His lawyer will be there apparently. Mine too, my sister helped me find one. This is all moving so fast I can barely keep up. His brother left a few minutes ago. Told me to call if I needed anything. My sister came back out and asked if I was okay. I don't know how to answer that anymore. Nothing about this is okay. But somehow I'm still here, still standing, still figuring out what comes next. Am I doing the right thing? Letting his brother be involved, accepting his family's support, moving forward with all of this? Or should I have just walked away from all of them? The meeting with my husband lasted 7 minutes before his brother punched him in the face. I'm not exaggerating. We sat down at the coffee shop, lawyers on both sides, And my husband immediately started in with, "I think we can handle this civilly for the sake of the baby." His brother was sitting next to me, not saying anything, just listening. Then my husband looked at me and said, "Obviously the child support situation will be different given the paternity circumstances." That's when his brother stood up, leaned across the table, and hit him square in the jaw. The lawyers freaked out. My husband's nose started bleeding. The barista threatened to call the cops. We got kicked out within 2 minutes. Outside on the sidewalk, my husband was holding his face, yelling about assault charges. His brother just stood there, breathing hard, and said, "Try it. Please. Give me a reason to tell everyone exactly what kind of person you are." My lawyer pulled me aside and told me this wasn't helping anything. His brother's lawyer, this older woman who looked completely done with everything, told him he was an idiot. My husband got in his car and left. Didn't say another word. We rescheduled for next week. Different location. His brother isn't invited this time. But that's not even the worst part. His affair partner showed up at my sister's apartment yesterday. I don't know how she got the address. My sister wasn't home, I was alone, and there was this knock on the door. I looked through the peephole and saw this woman I'd never met before. Blonde, probably late 20s, wearing business casual like she'd come straight from work. I opened the door with the chain still on. "Can I help you? Are you her? His wife?" I knew immediately who she was. Something about the way she said it, like the words tasted bad. "Yeah." She laughed. Not a happy laugh. "He told me you were crazy. That you'd made up the whole pregnancy to trap him. That you'd been sleeping around and trying to pin it on him." I didn't say anything. Just waited. "I saw the Facebook post," she continued. "With the sonogram. And the tag. His brother. I looked him up, found some old photos from family events. You're wearing his jacket in your profile picture now. I'd forgotten about that. His brother had left it at my sister's place and I'd been cold one day. Threw it on and my sister took a photo. I made it my profile picture without thinking. He's been lying to both of us," she said flatly. "I thought you should know he's telling people you're mentally unstable. That you're trying to ruin his life because he wanted to leave you." "He was planning to leave me," I said. "I heard him on the phone with his mother. He told me you two hadn't slept together in over a year. That you refused couples therapy. That you got pregnant to force him to stay." The chain was still on. I felt safer with it there. "He stopped touching me 2 years ago. I begged for therapy. He said he was too busy with work." She stared at me for a long moment. Then she said, "I've been sleeping with him for 14 months. He said the divorce would be final by Christmas. That we'd move in together in January. 14 months. Not a year like he told his mother. Longer." "I'm sorry," I said, and I meant it. "Don't be. I'm the idiot who believed him." She turned to leave, then stopped. "For what it's worth, his family chose right. You seem like an actual person. He's just nothing. Empty." She left. I closed the door and sat on the floor with my back against it for 20 minutes. My sister came home and found me there. I told her everything. She said we're changing the locks and getting a security camera for the door. I don't think his affair partner is dangerous, but I don't know who else he's been talking to. His brother called last night. Asked if I was okay, if I needed anything. I told him about the visit. He went quiet for a long time. "I shouldn't have hit him," he said finally. "I made it worse." "You made it satisfying." He laughed a little. "My lawyer says if he presses charges I'm screwed. Battery or assault or whatever." She's pissed at me. Will he press charges? I don't know. Probably not. He doesn't want more attention on this. We talked for a while longer. About the apartment he's been looking at. 2 bedrooms, one for us and one for the baby. I haven't committed to anything yet, but it's nice that he's thinking ahead. Planning. My husband never planned anything. Just reacted and made excuses. His mother called this morning. Said she heard about the coffee shop incident. Asked if I was all right. I said yes. She sighed and told me her sons have always been like this, competitive and stupid, but this was a new low. He's trying to paint himself as the victim, she said. Telling relatives that you and his brother conspired against him. That the affair started before you found out about his. That's not true. I know it's not. I told him to stop spreading lies or I'd cut him off completely. Financial support, family events, everything. Her voice cracked. I never thought I'd have to choose between my children. You didn't choose. He made his choices. Still feels like choosing. The meeting next week is supposed to cover everything. Division of assets, child support since the baby isn't his, how we're splitting things from the house. My lawyer says it should be straightforward since we were only married 2 years and most of the big stuff belongs to his parents anyway. But I keep thinking about what his affair partner said. That he's calling me unstable. Telling people I'm making everything up. I have the recording of his phone call, Proof of his affair, the Facebook post with timestamps. But what if that's not enough? What if people believe him? Should I be worried about what he's saying? Or just let it go and focus on moving forward? My husband's lawyer sent over financial documents yesterday and I think I'm going to be sick. He's claiming I owe him money. Not the other way around. He's saying because the baby isn't his, I committed fraud by letting him believe it was, and he's entitled to compensation for emotional distress and financial losses incurred during the false pregnancy. My lawyer called it bullshit. Said it wouldn't hold up anywhere. But the fact that he's trying it, that he's actually claiming I'm the one who owes him something, made me so angry I couldn't see straight. His brother was here when I got the email. He read it over my shoulder and I watched his whole face change. He grabbed his keys and left without saying a word. I knew where he was going. Sure enough, 30 minutes later my phone rang. My husband. Screaming. Call off your boyfriend before I press charges for real this time. He showed up at my apartment threatening me. What did he say? He said if I don't drop the financial claim he'll make sure everyone at my office knows exactly what I did. That he'll send the recording of me talking to mom about the affair to my boss, to HR, to everyone. I should have told his brother not to do that. Should have stopped him. But I didn't feel bad about it at all. Drop the claim then, I said. He hung up on me. The second meeting happened today. Different coffee shop, no his brother this time, just lawyers and paperwork. My husband showed up with his affair partner. She sat 2 tables away, watching everything, like she had some right to be there. My lawyer noticed immediately. Leaned over and whispered, "Is that her?" I nodded. She stood up, walked over to the woman, and said loud enough for everyone to hear, "This is a private legal meeting. You need to leave." His affair partner looked at my husband. He wouldn't look at her. Just stared at the table. "Are you serious right now?" She said to him. "You told me to come. I didn't think they'd make you leave. You're unbelievable." She grabbed her purse and walked out. Stopped at our table on the way and looked right at me. "Good luck. You're going to need it." The meeting lasted 2 hours. My husband dropped the fraud claim. His lawyer said it was in the interest of moving forward, mine said he probably realized how insane it sounded. We divided everything. He keeps his car, his personal stuff, some furniture his parents don't want back. I get to stay in my sister's place until his brother and I find an apartment, which apparently is happening whether I'm ready or not. Child support came up. My lawyer pointed out the baby isn't his, so he has no obligation. His lawyer agreed. They moved on like it was nothing. Like this baby I'm carrying, that he thought was his for 6 months, just stopped mattering the second he found out the truth. But then his lawyer said, "We do need to address the proceeds from the house sale." I didn't know the house was being sold. Turns out his parents decided they don't want either son living there. Too many bad memories. They're putting it on the market next month. My husband expects half the proceeds. His brother, who never lived there, gets nothing. But since I lived there for 2 years, my lawyer says I might have a claim. His lawyer called that ridiculous. Said I have no legal standing. My lawyer disagreed. They argued for 20 minutes while my husband sat there looking smug. We left it unresolved. Another meeting scheduled for 2 weeks from now. Outside in the parking lot I called his brother. Told him about the house. He already knew. His parents had told him last week but he didn't want to stress me out. "They're selling it for $400,000, he said. My brother wants $200. Which is insane because our parents paid most of the mortgage. Your lawyer thinks I can claim something? Maybe. You lived there. Maintained it. My parents put the deed in both your names when you got married." He paused. "Did you know that? That you're on the deed?" I didn't. I'd signed papers when we moved in but I thought they were just tenancy agreements or something. My husband never explained it. "If your name's on the deed, you own half," his brother said. "Legally." I sat in my car trying to process that. The house I'd been kicked out of. That his parents changed the locks on. That was being sold without anyone asking me. I legally own half of it. My husband must know. That's probably why he tried the fraud claim. He's desperate to walk away with something. His mother called tonight. Asked if I'd heard about the house. I said yes. She sighed. "I didn't want to sell it," she said. "But your father-in-law can't stand driving past it anymore. And having both our sons fighting over it, it's too much." "I'm on the deed," I said. Silence. "I didn't realize you knew that." "I didn't until today." More silence. Then, "What are you going to do?" "I don't know yet." She didn't push. Just said she hoped we could figure it out without more fighting. That she's tired of her family tearing itself apart. After we hung up his brother came over. Brought food, something from a Thai place I'd mentioned liking weeks ago. We ate on my sister's couch and didn't talk about the house or the money or any of it. "Are you scared?" he asked eventually. "Of what?" "All of this. The baby." Us. How messy everything is. I thought about it. Yeah. Constantly. Me too. We stayed up late watching some cooking show neither of us cared about. He fell asleep around midnight. I covered him with a blanket and went to bed, but I couldn't sleep. Just lay there thinking about the house, the deed, my husband's face when his lawyer brought up the sale. He wants that money. Needs it probably, for his new apartment and whatever life he's building. But if my name's on the deed, if I legally own half, he can't have it without my signature. Which means I have leverage now. Real leverage. And I don't know what to do with it. The baby came 3 weeks early. I was at the final settlement meeting when my water broke. Right there in the conference room, my lawyer mid-sentence about asset division percentages. His brother drove me to the hospital doing 70 in a 45. My husband didn't even know I was in labor until it was over. She's perfect. 7 pounds, dark hair, his brother's nose. The nurses kept saying she looks exactly like her daddy, and he'd just stand there holding her with this expression I can't even describe. Like his whole world had rearranged itself in an instant. His parents came the next morning. His mother cried when she held her granddaughter. His father took about 1,000 photos. They stayed for 3 hours, brought flowers and one of those giant teddy bears that takes up half the room. My husband texted 2 days after she was born. Congratulations, I guess. That was it. No questions about her health, her name, nothing. His brother showed him the text and said, "That's the last time he gets to pretend he's a decent person." The house sold 4 weeks after I got out of the hospital. Final price was $410,000. My lawyer argued that since my name was on the deed, I owned half. His parents didn't contest it. They just wanted it done. My husband fought it until the very end. Tried to claim I'd abandoned the property so I'd forfeited my rights. His lawyer knew it wouldn't work but filed the motion anyway. The judge threw it out in under 5 minutes. Told my husband's lawyer to stop wasting the court's time. I got $205,000. Paid my lawyer, put a chunk in savings for the baby, gave his parents $20,000 back because they'd helped with the down payment years ago. They didn't want it but I insisted. His brother and I used the rest for a real apartment. 3 bedrooms, good neighborhood, close to his parents. My husband got nothing. Turns out his parents had paid almost the entire mortgage. The deed was in both our names but they'd fronted nearly $200,000 over the years. They forgave my half of that debt. They didn't forgive his. So when the math worked out, after their loan was repaid, after legal fees, he walked away with $32,000. He tried to fight that too. Said it wasn't fair, that he'd lived there longer, that I didn't deserve anything. His own mother told him he was lucky to get what he got and if he complained one more time she'd make sure he got nothing at all. He stopped complaining. His affair partner left him 6 weeks after the baby was born. I only know because his mother told me. Apparently the woman finally figured out he'd been lying about everything, not just the marriage. He'd been telling her his family was wealthy, that he was set to inherit money, that once the divorce finalized they'd buy a house together. When she found out he was broke and in debt and his family wanted nothing to do with him, she was gone within a week. He's living in a studio apartment now on the other side of town. Works the same job, drives the same car. His parents see him maybe once a month for awkward Sunday dinners where no one talks about anything real. His brother stopped speaking to him entirely after he tried to show up at our apartment uninvited. That was 2 months ago. He knocked on the door at 9 at night. His brother answered. They stood in the hallway talking in low voices for maybe 5 minutes. I heard my husband say something about his family and his brother said, "You don't have a family here anymore." He hasn't come back. The divorce finalized 3 months after the baby was born. No contest, no drama, just paperwork and signatures. I kept my maiden name, changed it back officially. His brother and I aren't married. We've talked about it but neither of us is in a hurry. We're just figuring out how to be parents and partners in something that looks like a family. His mother visits twice a week. Brings groceries, holds the baby while I shower or sleep or just exists for 20 minutes without someone needing me. She apologized once for how everything happened. For not seeing what her son was earlier, for not protecting me better. I told her she couldn't have known. She said she should have. His father is quieter about it. He built the crib, installed the car seat, comes over to fix things that break. He doesn't talk about my husband at all. Just focuses on his granddaughter and pretends the rest doesn't exist. I saw my husband once after the divorce. Grocery store parking lot, completely by accident. He saw me loading bags into the car, the baby strapped into her seat in the back. He stopped walking. Just stood there staring. I didn't say anything. Neither did he. After a minute he got in his car and left. His brother asked me later if I felt bad for him. I thought about it for a long time before I answered. No, I said finally. He made his choices. He planned to leave me with a newborn. He cheated for over a year. He tried to take money I was legally entitled to. He could have been honest at any point and he wasn't. So you don't regret how it all went down? I looked at the baby asleep in her bassinet. At the apartment we'd built together. At the life that had come from all that mess and betrayal and pain. I regret marrying him, I said. I regret the affair. I regret that she'll grow up with this complicated story about how her parents got together. But no. I don't regret how it ended. The Facebook post is still up. I thought about deleting it, but his brother said to leave it. Said it's a record of the truth, of what really happened. My husband tried to report it, get it taken down for harassment. Facebook denied the request. Said it didn't violate their policies. Sometimes I look at it. At the Sonogram photo, the caption, the hundreds of comments from people I've never met weighing in on my life. It feels like looking at a different person's story now. Someone I used to be. The baby is 4 months old now. She smiles when her dad, his brother, comes home from work. She has her grandmother's eyes and her grandfather's stubborn chin. She has no idea how she came into this world, what had to break for her to exist. Maybe that's better. Maybe by the time she's old enough to ask questions, enough time will have passed that we can tell her the sanitized version. The one where people made mistakes but everyone ended up where they were supposed to be. Or maybe we'll tell her the truth. That sometimes love is messy and people hurt each other and families fall apart and rebuild themselves into something new. I don't know yet. But I know this, she's loved. Completely. By me, by her father, by her grandparents. By everyone except the man who thought she was his for 6 months and then decided she wasn't worth knowing once he learned the truth. His loss. Not hers.